Oh. Okay, that's already kind of pissing me off. I might play that sound today. Or just gonna turn that shit way fucking down. Oh, what the fuck is my chair stuck on? It's a boof ass rug. I gotta get Poketopia. But better yet, I gotta get away to fucking Apollo. What are you doing over there, big dog? Play my Switch on stream. Sup, Walter? Oh, he's got dive. Here, hold up. Alright, I've returned. Alright, what the fuck are we gonna do? I'm actually really glad Pokemon has those like oh, game logic, Pokemon logic moments, you know. Especially in turn-based RPGs. Like, if I'm about to go use dive. Like here. There's not grass here, but if I were to find a patch of grass. Wait, I'm not gonna use the bike for a long bit. You know, like, oh, Pokemon game logic, you know, like, you can use Thunderbolt underwater, nothing besides the Pokemon that you're attacking gets shocked. But, like, I think it keeps the game simple enough. As to where, like, it's not one of those, like, super hyper overly complex, like, JRPGs. You know? My bag's full? What the fuck? Toss. Yoink. I'm so hyped Fire is on the Switch, dude. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I can play multiple Pokemon games on my Switch. Now there we are. This is gonna fucking Pokemon up the ass, ain't it? Fuck. Use my special attack. That's what I gotta do soon. What's up, grunt? You fucking grunt. I shouldn't say it like that. Hey, what are you doing over there? No, fuck. I'll just have to go back and fucking make my own clip of my own shite. I'll get this shit the fuck out of the way. I'm going the other way, fuck this. Hold up. Oh, my ears. God, I fucking suck at spelling. Come here. Here we go, stream manager. What the fuck? Edit stream info. Boop beep. Da-da-da-da-da-da. You know, let's just see if I can't. Fucking. Damn, I really got it. Ooh, wait. I'm the fucking smartest person alive. Oh, fuck yeah, there we go. Now I can get both my stream manager and my OBS on the same screen. I'm such a smart little guy. I don't know why I said that. That was horrid. What the fuck? The fuck. What the fuck does unstable mean? What is this? Verification codes. Oh good, my number level's not. And that is not correct. What the heck? There we go. Mm-hmm. 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 Hmm. I have no fucking idea what any of these numbers mean. I'm Googling that shit. I'm sure this is very riveting. Oh, it just means it's got a bad internet connection. What the fuck? Why say that then, you motherfuckers? Instead of like, what the fuck? I'm so stupid. Yeah, you guys get to hear and watch me try and make clips in live time. It's gonna go fucking poor. Where is it? I took a photo of my screens, but I know when it would be. When is it? Where is it? Here we go. Doofieth. Let's turn that shit off. Okay, let's. This is riveting for you guys. Wait, I can just do this at work tomorrow. Yeah, I'll do it now. I'm already here. Okay, okay, I'm not getting any audio. Oop. Ow! Hold up, how fucking quiet am I? I know I talk quiet, but like, what damn? Hmm. How in the fuck? Okay. I'll just do it on my phone. That's such a pain in my nuts. Deal with that shit later. Alright, where's this taking me? Son of a bitch. Into the cave. Where are we going? Where are we heading? Fucking bastards. Okay. Hmm. Oh, it's because I'm also streaming it. It might be. Let's see, because I don't have the best internet. Let's fuck that shit right off. I can open up that on my. Ah! Oh, I forgot to turn the audio back on for the game. There you go. Whatever. I'll pull it up if I need that shit. Go down here. Well, doesn't take me I want. So let's go over here. Woo. What is a fucking high level goal bet? Holy cow. I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna battle him. Because that's one proof I can do it. Fuck me. Also, what'd she push? I know it probably don't matter, but like, why y'all no longer shipping to me? What the fuck? Order deck box? Fine. Trying to order other things? No bueno. What's up with that, guys? Double battle. I really like that I've said this before. Really leaned into the like double battles. You can be optional, of course. Because if it wasn't, then you just wander through the game and not be able to battle anybody. But I like that they set up a lot of double battles, a lot more than Emerald and not Emerald and Ruby and Sapphire. Because Ruby and Sapphire felt like, oh well, you know, we'll toy with this, we'll see this. It's like, oh, this is a great success. To the point where like, that's not how you play Pokemon. It's competitive. It's, you know, doubles. As Wolf Glick would say, the official Pokemon GC format. Y'all super dead. I drink some. Well, ooh, another Mightyena. Too intimidated is unfortunate. But son of a bitch, I'm gonna miss. Hold up. Let's just double it up. Nothing's gonna come out here if this kills. If it does it, it hits the stronger one. Okay, damn. You're just gonna throw out a level 37 Sharpedo. Level 35? Damn, this girl's Pokemon have been just straight up higher level. Anyway, you're throwing out a Sharpedo. I'm gonna Thunderbolt and Mega Drain it. Or a Golbat. What the fuck? Who's just like, yeah, fuck it, Golbat. So let's get some extra with Mach Punch and then Thunderbolt and kill it. Wow, when I said extra, I meant damn near nothing. Oh, it hits both. I didn't know I could have hit both. Wow. Great job. Golly, I hope I remember how to do this. I do not. Very good. There we go. Nope. I want to go beat the butts of all the other trainers in here so I can get some glorious experience points. I should have wanted to go at the beginning. Go the other ways. I was about to use a repel, and now there's a... Bleh. And where the... There we go. Holy cow. Also, I swore this weekend, like, my job's making me stupider. I think I just had, like, a super low-grade sinus infection, because, like, my head felt foggy. I couldn't do anything. I just felt, like, trash. And I just was like, I don't feel enough to be sick, but I feel stupid. Like, to do, like, a one, like, ooh, hard Sudoku, whatever, for, like, the New York Times. It's still not that bad. You know, took me like all day. I was like, that's fucking terrible. Like, retrying it. Like, nope, that's it. Fuck it. Reset it. Try it again. Well, I know the next one felt like a little bit easier, but like, I definitely the next day was just like, instead of taking me all day and like barely finishing before midnight. The next day, I was like, oh man, I took some like vitamin D3 and some vitamin C. It's like, oh, I feel lots better. It's like, here, let me try this again. I do the first one without any candidates to try and keep all in my brain, you know, and then the next one I'm like, all right, let's see how this goes. And I just ripped through that shit in 15 minutes. It's like, all right. And now in 15 minutes, like, oh, I did it, I failed, let me retry. Oh, it took me 15 minutes the second try. Like, literally just like, first try, 15, fucking rip through it. Like, okay, I feel less stupid now. I really hate having to reuse fucking strength every time I go through a damn door. Here's some trainers. Ooh, ooh, oh. Alright, single battle. Fuck, it's smut day. I definitely feel more tired than a fucking Monday. Ugh. Damn, dude, you fucking sucked. What's up, Paulo? Cat face. Good cat. Good cats. Ugh. Got two of those fuckers. Alright, up here. Go to the side. Wonderful. And just put you at the same place. Okay. Just want to make sure. These games are pretty memorized, but not that memorized. Earthquake, yay! It's not popular an earthquake on its own. That's not what I wanted. Here we go. Here we go. At 52. I don't give a fuck about hers at 52. I'm teaching this shit now. Yes, I'm committing to this motherfucking team. Sweet, replace muddy water with waterfall. That's done. That's done. That's done. That's done. Oh. Let us save. Let's see some heals. Now give it the mystic water. Energy powder. Nope. Energy powder. Yep. What the fuck are 4 rare candies? What's up, Archie? Alright, I'm gonna beat your fucking brakes off, big dog. Take the intimidate. Take the bite. Oh, swagger. That's... That's fine. If I hit, it's ash. I don't want that to happen. Now it's speed lower, so now I'm gonna get outsped and hit, and then I have a chance to hit myself, so I might die. Very cool. I'll hit though. Limmy's got it, no problem. What the fuck, my guy? Let's go ice beam. Looks like it's gonna try and swagger at some shit. Scary face. Unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Makes that 90. 95. Okay, so Dragon Breath. Just no point using it yet. Okay. A super potion. I thought you just said a potion. I was like, what the fuck you got a potion for, big dog? There's Swagger. But don't hit him playing with the switch. Wow, 3 for 3. That's unfucking believable. Let's go return. My mind didn't. God, I hate me or some shit, dog. Like, what the fuck? I've had your ass. You're so fucking long. And you're just like, nah. Let's go Shadow Ball. That's not gonna feel great. Special defense. Wing attack to the carnivore again. Loud speed and bite me. Ooh, or use wing attack again. Does it not have a bite? It's dead now, so. And next comes the Sharpedo, which my Lumi is a perfect counter against, being literally the two types this thing is weak to. But instead, I will try not to beat the Thunderbolt. Nope, and dead. Very cool. Oh, ulti. Dragon Breath, because Ice Beam does worse. Okay, sweet. Why does every fucking Pokemon this guy have use Swagger? Please hit. Four for 4. Okay. Only thing I'm gonna be doing is trying to Dragon Breath you, big dog. Oh, thank goodness. Lie. Double damage. Wonderful. Yes, because you suck. Dick. A lot. Echo Kyra goes up. Dumbasses. You both made. You both fucked up. Hello, Steven. Alright, big dog. Time to go to Stutaplay City. Oh, that was really bright. And dive. And up. Should have hit this place before so I could use just fly here. I always forget to do that shit. Cinematic. I love the sprites. They're so cute. Pokemon Center. Heal me, please. Yeah, the beginning of Air Gear is super good. So fucking hype. The art is amazing. And then like around the like maybe chapter 50 onwards, it's just like, and these are manga chapters, so like they're like fucking 10 pages, you know, not much. Alright, what's up, Wallace? Oh, bright. Like, why am I asking you this? You know the answer. It just kind of growing pains, where I was just like, oh, cool, AT battles, blah 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 blah, we're having fun. To like, oh, we're gonna have like a more serious plot now. To all of a sudden, like, fuck, I have the wrong bike. I need the mock bike. Sky Pillar. Sky Pillar's so sick in the manga, dude. Or like Norman. Spoilers. God, without sound just feels not great. Let us go fly, get my other bike, then go down there, then go to Sky Pillar. It's just really cool. I wish they had like rain and shit going on here too. It's just really cool. Because like Norman just sun up. You go through it because like he knows what Team and Team Alcorruptor is like. This is like the only way we're gonna be able to stop them. It's really cool. But as I was saying about Air Gear, It just feels like it has some just growing pains where it's just trying to figure out what it really, like, it kind of knows what it wants to do, but it's really kind of got to like work at it a little bit more, you know. So it's got to have a little more text, a little bit more character development, but so much of it is just like manga text walls, which like I'm reading it on my phone, which makes it just fucking brutal. But also, like, they always say, you know, don't tell what you can show. And manga is the perfect example of that. You don't have to say so much wrong. You can just straight up have them beat the shit out of weaker people. And like, oh, that, yeah, cool. Well, strong people that are weaker than them. Blah, 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 blah. Hello, Wallace. Aren't there biking sections? What the fuck? I could have sworn there was. There we go. Oh, we're off. Now this will make it slightly interesting. The Altarias and Claydol. I mean, yeah, Claydol. Baltoys, it's pre-evolution. God, that Pokemon looks so freaky. If Baltoy's kind of cute, then Claydol's just like, what the fuck is that? What is that? No, what? Stop, 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 stop. What is that? But it just, yeah, it just kind of feels like it has an idea where it wants to go. It's just having a hard time kind of getting there, you know? Should not repelled. I thought I had the fucking bug thingy. So what I know. Hello, Bequetha. So sick in Alpha Ruby and Omega Sapphire. Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. And then, like, you just ride across a fucking space to beat the piss out of Deoxys. That's so cool. God, how fucking sick this is, dude. It's so cool. So sick, dude. Waterfall. I think I just crunched a chip under my chair. Oh, my butt. So saying before I was rudely interrupted by Rayquaza. Yeah, they just like they want to give you a bunch of stuff to care about, but they don't give you a lot of reason to care about it. Now that the series is like getting, sorry about that, more serious, they're trying to convince like, oh man, you should care about this. But like it's nobody fucking does. I gotta download the Resident Evil soon. Like tonight soon. I can pause it when I go to work so my internet's just not getting fucking unable to be used by the people. Damn right, I'm fucking strong. So I'm planning to play that next. I still want to fuck around with the Bleak Escape once in a while. But I will probably be mainly playing Resident Evil because I played Village and I played the DLC. I didn't play any of the remakes they've been making. So I'll probably play that one. I want to play that one next. I've enjoyed a lot of them. I haven't. Well, I realized like, oh, okay, this is a game where you just can't kind of brute force your way through a lot of places, and you gotta like, okay, you have to like. It's an open space, but like that enemy is way too tough for you to beat. Also, I have a Rayquaza figure here that I put together, a model. Banger. Shout out to cats. So, once I learned that, when I was down in the Midwest, then I played like Resident Evil Village on my own. And that was just a straight good game, you know, it's like, oh man, this thing's tough, I'll go the other way, kind of realizing that also helps. I played, what's the one in the house? Is that 4? I don't remember. I guess it's the first mistake in the house. The one with the mold people, where like your hand gets cut off and fucked up a bunch. And I ran out of ammo, and I was just like, alright, I'm just gonna like force my way through here with a knife. And it worked, but I was just like, every time I would go through, then I'd die to something else, and I'd have to come back there, and it'd be a pain in the nuts. But also playing on a computer, like I cannot do shooters with shit with a controller, dude. I gotta have a mouse. Like I'm not good with a mouse compared to a lot of people, but like I gotta have a mouse. I despise shooters without a mouse. But hopefully it's a lot of fun. I'm excited for it. Also, I just gotta check my bank account. Oh, that's right. I made a very large Rift book order. It was like I had a bunch of money in it. What happened? I usually keep like $100 because I don't lose my card. I was like, man, I had a bunch of money in there. You know what happened to it? Then I forgot I made the $70 thrift books order because I found like the first 3 of Love Hina, and I was like, oh, I hear this is pretty good, pretty popular, you know. I'll see how I like it, you know. I'll read the first one. I read the first one. I was like, wow, that was really enjoyable. Then I read the second one. I'm like, oh man, this is super enjoyable. Ooh, this is a lot of fucking people. Oh, this is super enjoyable. So now I ordered them. So I ordered the rest, the other 11 copies of. Where the fuck am I? I gotta put shelves up, dude. I have so much fucking manga. I have nowhere to put that shit. I got more Blood Lad. Not Blood Lad, what's this called? Crazy vampire lady woman. Resurrection Princess. I think I watched this and it was enjoyable too. What the fuck else is down? Is there a bunch of like random manga that look cool? So fucking I like collecting old manga. I got number 2 of Viren's Landing. Oh, I got number 3 of that one too. Where's number 1? Real About High School. That one's funny as shit. It is so stupid. I love it. There should be more. I don't know where the rest is, because I have like 3 or 4 of Real About. I've got like 3 or 4 of Resurrection Princess. Sorry, I was looking at the manga I pulled out. Let me put this actually all the way back. I also have first, this is the first one and the second one. Book 1. I should read this. I heard this one was good. Actually, let me look it up on Goodreads. I know you can't see what I'm doing, so I just fucking just talking. Dude, it was so fucking cold out when I went snowboarding last week. Hold up. My fucking phone case, like, started cracking. Like, have you ever seen like paint get super cold, and you just kind of like starts like, because like when shit gets cold, it compresses, and when paint gets cold, it obviously, like everything besides water, because water has air trapped in it, and then air tries to expand and freeze and blah 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 blah, and water ends up getting bigger. Like it contracted so hard that like it just started shipping and like cracking really badly. Like I didn't even eat it. It was just so cold that like you could like go like this like on my phone and just like chips would fall off. Just hilarious. .4, not bad. Do I have the other one in here? No, these are I never finished that fucking book. I really wanted to. Fuck, what series is this even called? Rift War Saga. I read the first one. That was so good. I read the second one. It was pretty good. It got a little too fucking weird and esoteric in the middle of it. Now, so I have a really hard time with books when they just like out of nowhere are just like 15 years have passed. I'm just like, ugh. You know, I get it if it's like you know, they did training and then a couple of years But this book's just like, yes, it's been 12 years since we last saw our intrepid adventurers. And they are such indistinguishable characters that they might as well be new characters. Right? Maybe I'll finish that one. I have other books I want to read. I want to read Bloody Rose. Where's I'm really far away from the mic when I'm talking like that. And I want to read the rest of the Lunar Saga. Oh, these books are so fucking good, dude. What's her name? I think it is Marissa Meyer, yeah. So good. I am almost finished with Scarlet, the second book in the series, which means I gotta go down to my local bookstore and order the next one. I have fucking 4 books left. Banger series. Ah, fuck, why did I do that? Only good enough that, like, I'm starting to, like, read at home again. Like, books I think are great. Because, like, think of how much time you spend on social media. And if you just have a book with you. Oops, sorry. I accidentally unmuted before I was done coughing. Now all of a sudden, instead of like, oh, I gotta wait 20 minutes for this, or like, oh, my food's taking a while, let me pull out my phones, I just like fucking scrolling on social media and just wasting your time. Like I tweeted out, like, it's like, there's some times where it's like, oh man, the internet's so neat, it's fun to be here, and then like 30 seconds later you're like, I am unbelievably depressed. Why did I open up Twitter? Why did I open Instagram? Why did I open Snapchat? Why did I open up Facebook? You know, all these things. And instead, what I started to do, and it really helped once I found books that were interesting. Also, to all those who read or looking to read, if someone looks you dead in the eyes and says some shit about, oh, you know, you're not a real reader if you never finish any books, or oh, you only read half books, or blah 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 blah. Look them in the eyes, take 2 steps forward till you're like close to, like, you're kind of in their face, and just go, you're a fucking bitch. Do it. Because they are. Right? Like, it's not like a movie where it's like, this movie's not great, you know, whatever, it's only another hour and then it's over, you know. Pay for the ticket, I'll sit here. You know, it's closer to, like, video games, I would have to say. You know? But, like, if you buy a bad game, and you play, like, an hour of it, and you're like, this game fucking sucks, this is unenjoyable. Stop playing it! Stop playing the fucking video game! You know? Stop! It's the same thing with books, but like more time investment, you know? Like, say you can read a book. Let me look up, I don't know what reading levels are. Let me look up, like, words per minute per month, baby. What? Minute average. That's typing speed. Reading. 200 to 300 words per minute. Adult average. 200 to 250. So let's say 200, because I know reading is really, like, it's gone down. So let's say 200 words per minute. So let's go Hobbit word count. So approximately 95,000. So 95000. Yeah, divided by 200. So that's 475 minutes divided by 60. So to read The Hobbit, on average, this Azuma's gonna beat the piss out of me. Actually, might not. That's really not a very strong. Whoa, my guy. I just want some XP. Just a cup of XP. Ooh, I'm switching to Mighty. So, like, to read The Hobbit on average, it's gonna take you 8 hours, right? And The Hobbit's not a super big book. Like, Harry Potter. Fuck, what's it called? Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire. Word count. Yeah, Goblet of Fire has 190,000 words, right? 190 divided by 200. So that one's like 16 hours, right? Almost right around double, you know? Makes sense. The word count is just around double. You know? Like, that's a 16-hour game to complete. Like, what's like a popular game right now? Let me Steam. Let's look up. Ooh, Persona 5 is gonna be not a good one. Yeah, that was a bad example. Let's go with the new Resident Evil. Yeah, Google says, and this is the AI review, so it might be complete shit. 10 to 15 hours, you know, like Resident Evil 4, right? Like, 10 hours. That's to get through all of Resident Evil. The new Resident Evil 9. In about the same amount of time. Depending on how good you are at games, how fast a reader you are, whatever. It's about the same amount of time as it takes to read The Hobbit, right? Now, go on your phones, figure out what is your total social media consumption that week. I have it fucked up because I try not to use Instagram, so I have it where I have to use the web, and the web version sucks, and then I get frustrated, then I stop. But not nearly as frustrated as if I were just to straight use Instagram, you know? So, I'll take it. You know, it's a little bit of punishment for fucking using social media. Gotta get the friendship checker on Mighty, dude. What the fuck, dog? Written her. Cool. You know, and if your social media consumption in the week is above like 8 hours, firstly, get the fuck off your phone. Secondly, you're not gonna convert that all right into using a book, because there's a lot of like 2-3 minute, you know, pull it out, scroll, put it away, you know, that's, you're reading for 2-3 minutes, you know. For some books it's fine because they have super short chapters, like what did I just read? Thursday Murder Club, that's what it was. You know, I got like 1-2 page chapters because it bounces around from a lot of views a lot, so that one was super duper easy to get through. Please tell me I have a non. Alright, this is it. Not a non-linear story, but we really don't have a, we kind of do, but we don't really have like a main focal point, which is why I think it was so good for movies that like you could have like, you know, people like, all right, we're gonna go do this thing, and instead of just showing them now they're there doing that thing, you could have a little like 2-3 minute clip of like somebody else somewhere else, which is how the book is written. You know, where it's like, all right, we're gonna go do this, and then it'd be like 2-3 minutes, a couple pages of somebody doing something else, but it'd be like a new chapter because it's a new thing going on, a new scene, new blah 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 blah. Why are you doing good damage there, Mighty? Oh, you're so fucking stupid. Like, I'm almost dead. Go down, fucking taunting. Fucking my Gregor with his leg broke, just like, I so won this fight. It's like, I get you're a good fighter, but like, shut the fuck up. Ooh, wait. You know, but like 15-20 minutes here or there, you know, if you have 3 or 4 stints where you're doing 20, you know, 15-20 minutes, you know, 8 minutes, whatever, you know, like little chunks within social media here and there. Let's say you have 3 15-minute stints a day where you're on social media, right? So that's 15 times 3. It's 45 minutes. So you convert that all to reading. You could finish The Hobbit in a week or 2. Like 14 days. If you have 3, and let's say one of them you still use social media, because it's hard to break a habit, so that's 30 minutes a day. Divided by 30. Yeah, that's like 15-16 days if you read 30 minutes a day. Instead of using social media for, you know, an hour, 40 minutes, you just read. Like, I know it's less dopamine. I know it's less of a, you know, punch, a hit where you're just like, you know, pull it out, gets immediate haha funny video dopamine. And that's fine too, but like, everyone's always complaining about like, oh man, social media, it sucks, you know. It's like, yeah, it does. Stop fucking using it then. Like, The Hobbit's not like a very big book. Like, I know Gura talked about this. Gura. God, I miss Gura. Happy I found a new Senzawa. Not Senzawa. Saba. My goodness, the S names. Fuck. Well, completely 3 different people, by the way, if you didn't know that. Okay, I'm gonna take this. Holy cow. Like, she was talking about that, like, little pocket-sized, like, pleather. Sorry, I gotta map this out in my brain real quick. Lord of the Rings book. I mean, Hobbit book. Hello, Juan. Like, that's why I started reading, like, old paperbacks, because they're super... I like how they don't tell you that he's the champion yet. They're like, oh, he had a good reason. Like, that's why I used to read, like, mass market paperbacks a lot. Just because I needed to have the book on me. And, like, in my back pockets, instead of grabbing my phone, I just, instead of going to front right, I went to back right. What are you gonna do, Love Disc? Oh, I'm so gonna sit there and comment on your ass, dog. So, like, that's how I got started. And there's a lot of really good, like, mass market paperbacks. And if you're not sure, what does Suicus do? Fuses me. That's fine. And 4 turns I'll snap out of it, probably. Like, there's so many. Like, good, like, kind of like mass market paperbacks. They just take one of those, put it in your back pocket, put it in your purse. They're super small, like... They're like 2 of my phones, like, they're like twice as thick and, like, a little bit wider. So just, like... really easy. If you want a good website to get, like, old mass markets, Thrift Books is fantastic. Oh my god, you coward of a bitch. God bless. Twice you'll fucking... I almost said a bad word. Well, worse word. Get out of here. Get out of here. Why are they disappearing? Report. Spam it. Timestamp. I'm such a weird, awkward position. There they go. Let's make sure their message is actually out of the freaking chat. Little squirts. Sweet. Amazon's also got some good ones, and also just like, first off, I misclicked and I just turned my volume down instead of muting. are you selling me with water pulses? Ugh. Find a very small local bookstore, or even, a like small like Barnes and Noble. Because like I've noticed, because I haven't been to a lot of small Barnes and Nobles, I've been to a couple. But when I go to a small Barnes and Noble, they're real similar to like small bookstores because they're just not privately owned, because it's just like some people who, you know, like to read, want to work someplace, you know, a little quiet, a little sleepy. Like, I'll use one more double team, max up on the both. Again, Anaki. I forgot to turn my Netflix off, and it's showing me recommendations. I remember reading that one. I'll say this, distracted real quick. The authors, or the manga artists, or whoever, his preference is very easily known. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. And just be like, hey, I like these movies, I like these games, you know, I haven't really read in a while. Can you please send, what would you recommend? Like, bookstore employees are the nicest motherfuckers, because it's not like a sports store where it's just like, you know, it's Greg from the football team and he needed a summer job. It's like these people, their favorite pastime, or at least a pastime they enjoy, is like sitting there quietly with what is essentially a magic tome that transports them to another world in front of them, right? Not very harsh people. Now, if you go to a bookstore and you see a lot of dark romance books, fucking run. Like, it's one thing if they have like a little section, or just like a, this is what you're looking for, go over here, you know? Like, Barnes & Noble's got that. It's whatever. Dude, you're so fucking dead. If I hit you once, you're turning to ash. Yeah, you're so fucked. I'm +5, dog. Get the fuck out of here. You know, fucking Future Sight's such a stupid move. I just won't look at it. 80 with 90% chance to miss versus you can just psychic this turn. Yeah, fucking get out of here. That's like a good, like, mid-level move. It's like, it's really powerful, but it takes 3 turns. Or like, you use it and it like happens later. You know. Just like a great general move. Like I shouldn't be learning that little fucking 42 when I already have confusion. This isn't gonna be Water Pulse. What is this gonna be? Why is it? Every gym leader was like, here, Water Pulse. Misty's like, oh, I'll give you Water Pulse. Juan, from the 2nd to the 8th, is like, I will also give you Water Pulse. What is it, 50 power? $60. Wow. Dog, I use Surf to get here. That's a 90 base power. Oh, but it doesn't have a chance to confuse. Yeah, but it hits both fucking opponents. Sweet, let's set up our Evergarden in the city. I might have to do some training beforehand. But like, they're gonna be kind people. You know, or at least like not very intense. Like, they're just like, they want people to get into their hobby, and they don't want a bunch of people essentially reading porn. Like, that's all it is, right? It's just corn, right? Like, it's straight up bad for your brain. Like the amount of like good it might become because like, oh, I'm reading, you know, it's immediately canceled out by the fact that what you're reading, you know? Like, I'm getting physical exercise swinging this hammer. It's like, yeah, but you're hitting yourself in the fucking hand with it. Like, there's a bigger problem here. Oh, no, it's just stupid. I just take this hobby that is essentially just like, again, it's magic. Like, a bunch of words written on a page, arranged in such an order that, like, you can all of a sudden lose 3 hours in another world. And, like, the more you do it, the better you get at it, you know? Like, imagine books didn't exist and you went to a world where they just had these, like, thick tomes of, you know, of paper, right? And, like, you opened one up, and the more you just, like, looked at it and kind of, like, said the words out loud or in your brain, all of a sudden, you're not, like, standing in a, you know, line at McDonald's. All of a sudden, you're, like, on Kaladesh, even though that's, I don't think they have a Kaladesh book, and that's a magic plane. That is, like, weird cyber aetherpunk India. Is it? Yes. Whatever. Yeah, I'll battle you. You'd be like, whoa, what the heck is this? But since, like, instead of in high school being like, you know, alright, we read a lot of the classics, you know, what's one book you guys want to read? You know, let's vote and read it as a class. You know, it doesn't have to be a standalone book. It can be the first in the series. It can be the middle in the series, you know. Like, what's a book the class wants to read together? Or just be like, find a book. It has to, like, fit these requirements. And do a report on it. And it's when kids bring in, like, manga or a comic, or, like, fuck, if they bring in, like, a manual to a car and just be like, okay. You know? Because first off, half the kids are just trying to get a rise out of you, dude. If you just, like, go, alright, that's fine, you can do it. A lot of them will be like, oh, no, I'm joking, you know? Just, I'm not saying teachers should call the kids out on their bluffs, but, like, you know, if a kid wants to do a book report on, like, a service manual and be like, alright, you know, detail the information, detail how clear it was, detail this, and this, you know, like how you would do a book report and review, like, alright, what does appear like some instead of common themes, common problems, you know, like, you know, what's some redundancies in here? Like, there's so much. Because if they do that and they're like, oh, I actually, like, have to read and pay attention to this thing now. They, like, there's a chance, right? There's a chance that they go, oh, well, that was kind of, you know, interesting. I, like, you know, did that. Maybe I'll do a real book next time. You know, instead of making us read Huck Finn for, like, the fucking 20th time. You know, just, like, something interesting, dude. Sorry. Just like, hey, here's a book, here's like a list of like 20 books that we plan to either go over or talk about, like, you know, kind of mess with this year. It's a pretty loose system. There's a couple we have to hit, but there is some, you know, I think would be good to do. And like here, just like here's a list. Go home. If your parents are okay with these books, that's fine. They have a check mark by them. Put in check if they're okay or an X if they're not. You know, like something pretty obvious where it's just like, if you do not want your kid reading this book in class, please put a line through this book. Right? And a semester, you're not going to get through fucking 20 books. You're not even remotely going to get through 20 books. But, like, there's no way that every parent, well, most parents aren't going to, like, give a shit, right? So there's no way that, like, every fucking parent... Where the fuck is Evergarden in this city? Ah, dingers. You know, so you're gonna have maybe 5 books left over. Fuck, even if it's 3. You know, you'll toss some, like, whatever books on there, like, oh, we're gonna go over Macbeth, you know, we're gonna go over To Kill a Mockingbird. You know, just so parents, because some parents are stuck up dick weasels. Or they're like, why isn't my kid reading the classics? It's just because, it's like, because the classics are really cool. But, like, if you saw a motherfucking 20-year-old out in the wild reading, you know, To Kill a Mockingbird, you're like, okay, cool. Don't ever talk to that guy. And, you know, it's just a weird deal. Or, like, ones that are interesting. Like, I, very obviously, am a Christian. I think Christians should read Dracula. I do. The entirety of that book. And this is like the most minimum spoilers there is, right? But if you're really worried, bow out now. The entirety of that book is literally just like how mortal men with God on their side can defeat unholy, ultra-powerful entities, right? And any Christian who sees that and is just like, no, 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 you shouldn't be reading that. It's just like, my God. Their, like, best line of defense against him is, like, wearing a cross, you know? Like, they find out one of them, like, minor spoilers again, is turning into a vampire because they try and take communion. And they're like, oh, they can't take the Lord's Holy Communion, you know, without, like, freaking out. Something's up with them, you know? Not saying that's how it is in real life, like, somebody, you know, has a little bit of a bit, they're not possessed, they're not blah 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 blah. They might be, but, like, now we're talking about right now. And like he's like, oh, they're like in the woods, and like, how do I keep the vampires away? He just like walks in a circle, praying, splashing holy water, and it's just like, all right, they straight up cannot get in now. And they're scared and they want to run away, but they have to trust in the Lord and the fact that, like, we put a barrier up, and it is in the Lord that we're trusting, and he's going to keep that barrier good and keep us protected. And they have to stand firm in the barrier, in their faith in it. And how do I have to explain this to people? It's... What's up, Scott? Goodbye, Scott. Like, it's not even like it's kind of brutal in some points, you know, but it's also like, I would say, and I know this might like ruffle people's feathers, but it's definitely less brutal than the Bible. Like, I've read the Bible. Like, I've read about Sodom and Gomorrah. That's so much more brutal than, like, Dracula. You know? Like, it's just... Like, when I was reading Dracula, also... I'm gonna give you one really good piece of advice from Dracula. When you get to the middle of it, make sure to, like, sit down and read it, because the middle is really brutal. Like, the beginning is so good, but the middle is kind of brutal to get through. Ooh, I should go do that. Then we'll take this on. Let's go check some happiness in Verdendorf. Let's see here. Southwestern Slaty. Yep. Whatever, I guess it's chilling. I was like trying to read it like before church service started, and man, like people are gonna get upset if I read that. I'm like, Dad, who? I'm like, I just like looked at him. He was like, I know, I agree with you, but man, do I not want to deal with it. I'm like, completely understandable. I'll read it while it's in my bag so people can't see the cover. You know? It's just that, like... People just gotta fear it, dog. And it's just like... One of the main things I get out of the Bible is just like, to trust in the Lord and do not fear, right? It's just like... If you got trust in Him, just like, trust it's all gonna turn out alright. Even if, like... Your earthly life sucks. It says, like, you will prosper in heaven. If you, like, have a hard time out here, right? I'm kind of not excited to watch Bucky though. I thought it was really cool when I read it. But like Bucky's just like... When you can't just like, alright, this is stupid, and just like go a couple pages in advance, you gotta like try and scroll through it or like deal with it. It makes it a little bit harder to get through. What I was saying, right? It's like... Some of them are prudes, some of them are whatever. It's like, you know... There's some stuff where like I kind of understand, like this is a little bit more, you know, like Doro, Hey Doro, like it's super good. I really enjoy it because it's got that, like, what I call, like, you know, sand in your teeth. Where you just feel like, you know, like, it feels like a good gritty, you know, not gritty, like, stories. Where it's just like a gritty detective noir, you know, it feels gritty in the fact that, like it feels like what I said, like, you know, you ever just eat complete and utter shit and now you have like sand in your teeth. And that feeling of like eating complete and utter shit and having like dirt and sand in your teeth, and it's like, alright, you can either get up or you can fucking lay there. And that feeling of like, this sucks, but I gotta keep going. I kind of get that from Doro Hey Doro. Like, it's that feeling of like, everything sucks, but we, you know, just keep grinding. Like, that world, objectively, no matter whose side you're on, fucking sucks. Oh, no. Yep. That's deeply unfortunate. Why isn't my time just protection? How the fuck did you survive that? Yeah, but all in all, just like... Just find something to read. Read it. Don't gotta be small. Don't gotta finish it. You know, it's like having like a really intense workout. Like, you know, you don't always gotta finish the workout, but the fact that like you're doing most of it, or you're doing some of it, or you're just like, I'm going to the gym to lift, and you get there and you're like, fuck, I'm just gonna walk around the track for a little bit. That's better than nothing, because you gotta, like, it's the one foot in front of the other, you know? Was that Santa Claus Comes to Town? That was Santa Claus Comes to Town. It's thinking, put one foot in front of the other. You know, you just a little bit, and all of a sudden you're like, oh man, I opened up this really thick book and I finished it in the night because Percy Jackson is super well written. And you're like, wow, I wouldn't have done this. Like you go from like, oh man, I read 6 or 7 books last year, you know, which like some people was like a lot. I probably read like 2 or 3 honestly the year before. I like fucking like really got into Percy Jackson. And then like you find like your niche of like your niche. You're like, oh, this is like super what I want. And then all of a sudden you're just reading 20 books a year, or you're reading 5, or you're reading 10, or you're reading 1 when you wouldn't have read any of the year before, right? It's just like, it's good. And don't be afraid of the people. If you're like, well, I've never really read Harry Potter and I want to read it, you know, never be afraid of the motherfuckers like, you never read Harry Potter? And just, this is what I do. I go, no, I haven't. When's the last time you read? Right? Because most of the time, if you're like, oh, have you read it? They'll be like, yeah, I read it, because that's what they want. You know, you just turn around and like, all right, when's the last time you read anything? They'll be like, and you're like, what's going on, dog? You're giving me shit for reading a book that you've read? You know? Or if you're like, oh, they're like, oh, you've never read, like, yeah, I've never read it before, and they're like, you've never read Harry Potter? Again, immediately just go, yeah, I'm getting back into reading. When's the last time you read something? All the motherfuckers I have done that to just go, oh. It's just like, get out of my face. Ooh, how'd that not kill? I don't know, it's just like, come on, man. Having a little bit of spike to you, a little bit of, you know, makes a lot of the hobbies really easier. Like, this is... Where the fuck am I going? I don't know, something I should admit. But, oh, I know where I'm going. I just went the wrong way. I am a very anxious person. I'm not the most anxious person I know, but I'm very anxious. One of my favorite ways to get around that, or how I got around it, is I started doing martial arts. And you're like, oh, you did martial arts, you gained confidence, you're like, oh, I'm more powerful than I realized. No, what I thought is now, I'm not, like, I'm anxious in the way that, like, I don't want to deal with these people. I don't know how they're going to respond. This is such a bother, and I have to worry about it now. But now I'm, like, thinking about a bunch of, like, well, if I do this, you know, this, then I'm going to worst case scenarios, and then my brain's just getting addled, you know? Now, after doing martial arts and, like, being good at martial arts, my brain just goes to, if it's a girl, it's different, because I don't hit women. Quote of the year, Werewolf.exe does not hit women. It's just like, oh man. Worst comes to worst, if this guy starts arguing, he's got to have a gun if he wants to beat me in a confrontation. I'm gonna, like, if he's got a knife, I wear boots. I'm gonna kick you in the wrist 30 times, and I'm going to break your fucking wrist, and you won't be able to hold it, and then I'm gonna beat you up. Hi! I'm doing fine. I am ranting about people not reading enough and other things. I'm almost done, so you can watch the VOD when I do that. Technically, you can emulate almost any old Pokemon game. To get a physical cartridge is like $200, but you can emulate it on literally every iPhone or Samsung or any mobile device. I use... I forgot the name. To emulate it for my Samsung. And you can use the really popular emulator that's for iPhone. And play it that way. It's free. It's an old game. It's from like 2013. Yes. I usually switch off between this one and the Bleakest Keep. Just because I just didn't really know what to play. After I finish some games and like I have an emulator, I like Pokemon, I'll play some Pokemon. I plan to finish this game by the end of the week easily. If not tomorrow, or maybe Wednesday at the latest. And then I will plan to play some Resident Evil. Hold up, give me a sec. Yes, I stream Wednesday. I stream Monday through Thursday, 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I am really quickly going through a Duolingo lesson. Also, Duolingo glitched out. I did what's like, you missed your streak, you don't have any freeze, make it up. And I did the makeup, and then it went like, congratulations. You know. You know, you fixed your streak, and then like the next day, like it reset to 0, and I haven't heard back from like, oh well, that's really shitty. That was like a fucking 400-day streak that like your thing kind of glitched out and it died. All right. Oh yeah, I'm gonna check that. I love California. I go there fairly often. I don't really like to say exactly where I'm from. I will say I am from the north. I lived up in South Lake for a year in high school. I go down to the Santa Cruz area often to visit my uncle. And then we go back up to South Lake to do snowboarding. I love California. It's the closest thing to a second home I got because I go down there often. I want to check where a good training place is. Good to meet you too. Depends on what it is. No, I'm okay, think. Where's my fucking guy? Where'd he go? Sorry, give me a sec. Something is... How did I just notice this? Where'd my GIV go? What is happening here? Hold up. Hold the fuck up. Where's my icon? Where is that? Where? Move to bottom. Okay. Okay, this is upsetting. Oh, did it click? Oh, okay, it is not responding. Close the program. Close the program. Okay, open the program. There we go. Oh, I'm here. Hi. Wow. How the fuck did I miss that? Alright. That's a crazy way to end stream. Alright, let's get some verses going. Let us... What's a good quick one? Alright, let's turn the volume off. Let's hit up the Parable of Two Sons, Matthew 22, verse 28 through 32. Let's get real close into the mic. But what do you think about this? A man with two sons told the older boy, "Son, go out and work the vineyard today." And the son answered, "No, I won't go." But later he changed his mind and went anyway. Then the father told his other son, "You go." And he said, "Yes, sir, I will." But then he didn't. Which of the two obeyed his father? Jesus replied, "The first." They replied, "The first." And then Jesus explained his meaning. "I tell you the truth. The corrupt tax collectors and prostitutes will get into the kingdom of God before you do. For John the Baptist came and showed you the right way to live, but you didn't believe him, while tax collectors and prostitutes did. And even when you saw this happening, you refused to believe and repent for your sins." Right? I think that's a good one. Definitely gets across the like. I'm not. Gotta stop eating so many mints. Gotta get my throat figured out. I think it's a real good one because it definitely shows that, like, you know. Ooh, these are all winter green. Ooh. You know, as long as you don't have to be, you know, grew up in the church. I used to go to summer church Bible camps and blah 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 blah. You know, even if you're against God, it doesn't matter as long as you eventually come to Him. When's a good time? Now is a great time. There was a really better time. Find the smallest church you can. A lot of them that are real small will be like in school gymnasiums, and that's perfectly fine. And just be like, hey, I'm new here, or if you have a friend, be like, hey, I'm blah 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 blah, or like, just Google how to give your heart to Jesus. Watch a 30-minute sermon. I like Joseph Prince. In the sermon, they always, and sometimes they won't because it slips their mind or like it's edited. You know, like a 30-minute segment of their sermon, whatnot. But you know, they always like at the end of it, like we always want to give a chance for people to it. You know, I'll just do one right now. You know, like to any and all people watching, if you want to give your heart, you just bow your head, close your eyes, and just, Lord Father God, thank you that you will replace my heart of stone with a heart of flesh, that your Son died for me on the cross, spilled his blood, and had his flesh rent for me, Lord. Thank you that I accept you as my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Thank you. Thank you, God the Father. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Thank you, and amen. That's all you gotta do. And then just start following after him. And you say that, if you say that wholeheartedly, you will end up following after him no matter what you do. And that's how that goes. All right. Good night, good morning, God bless, and a goodbye.